So just when you thought you had Nintendo all figured out, they come out of nowhere out of left field and bam, hits us with some big news. Before we get started with that though, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs down. Really helps out a lot. But let's get right into it. And Nintendo comes out of nowhere yesterday, and there was a lot of stuff about Nintendo Direct. Are we ever going to get one again? It's been like over a year and a half, over 500 days since the last time that we've seen one. A lot of people speculated that we weren't ever going to get another one, and it looked that way for quite some time. But yesterday on Twitter, they dropped this news. It says tune in at 2/17 at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and that's 5 p.m. Eastern time for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring roughly 50 minutes of information focused on available games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and other games coming to the Nintendo Switch in the first half of this year of 2021. And, that really caught a lot of people off guard, a big surprise. And I'm a huge Nintendo fan as well. And, very exciting news. So we're going to be going a little bit over what to expect from today. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be on here in a few hours. So we're going to be going over everything and get my opinions, my thoughts of what you're probably going to see. And also, I'd like for you guys to leave down below what you guys think possibly we might hear and see today as well. Again, this is huge news coming out of Nintendo. The Direct that we're going to be getting today, this is huge. I mean, this is big news for Nintendo. And so let's go over some of the stuff that we possibly will see today and here. And first off, Animal Crossing. We've gotten small updates over the last few months, for certain events and holiday stuff. But I would say expect a big update for Animal Crossing, which I think that we're due for. And to be honest, it's a game that I have put a lot of hours into more earlier on. It's been a couple of months or so since I've really played the game. So a huge update bringing in, I would like to see some Nintendo stuff being brought into the game that we have not yet seen, especially with certain anniversaries this year. It would be nice to see some Nintendo exclusive stuff, for in the store and being able to grab and achievements and stuff like that. I think that would go over great, and it would also bring in a lot more people, including myself, back onto the game. The game it's one of the biggest selling, and probably here pretty soon. I wouldn't give it too much longer. It's probably going to be the biggest selling game for Nintendo on the Switch. That is taking over Mario Kart 8 finally, even though that is still the number one top selling game. But Animal Crossing is right underneath that. So I would think a huge update for that game would bring in a lot more new people and people like myself back onto the game. Now let's go ahead and talk about what I think would be maybe not next on the list, but let's talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and what we could hear from them today, as they already stated that they will be talking about that and a new character that they're going to be bringing out. My opinion on that is, could we see, and I know how they've been putting out the characters. Who do you think could be the next character, and how many more characters do you think we have left? I believe the rumor is we only have maybe 2 to 3 characters left for the game to come out still. And I'm hoping that maybe they talk a little bit about it and push it maybe a little bit more than that. Possibly not. But who's the next character that's going to be revealed today? Big speculation is Crash Bandicoot, of course. That's a huge one. And a lot of people have been wanting that, and that would be amazing if he brought over. Another person would be Master Chief from Halo. That would be another big person that could be brought onto the game. Maybe not today or introduced today, but maybe later down the line. Another guy, Dante from Devil May Cry. That's another person that could be brought up. But who else is, let's think outside the box. Who else do you think could be a new character or was someone that would benefit from being in the series and help out the game? Those 3 right there are pretty big and pretty strong, but who do you think could be next up or should make the Smash game? All right, now let's switch gears up a little bit and talk about a series that we have not yet seen on the Nintendo Switch at all, and one that a lot of fans and a lot of people would love to have come over, and that is the GTA series, Grand Theft Auto. Now, obviously, GTA 5, not saying the game couldn't run on it, but the online part, just probably with the Nintendo Online service not being strong enough to be able to, I think, bring that game over. It would be amazing for the trilogy, though, possibly. Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, San Andreas. Bring that trilogy over. What are you waiting for? Those games would perfectly run on the Switch. And not only that, how many more fans would buy this trilogy over again? I know I've bought it. I own it on the PS2, the Xbox, the original Xbox. I even have it on my PS4 and PS. I've bought this thing several times, but this was a no-brainer and it would obviously sell. To be able to have GTA on the go on your Switch, to have those 3, even just those 3 games, how amazing would that be? It would be amazing. Absolutely. I would love to be able to, GTA 3 and Vice City are like my favorite Grand Theft Auto games anyways. And I know it's probably, I'm not the only one out there that probably feels that way. And then San Andreas as well, another big time GTA game. Imagine having those 3 on the go. That would be absolutely amazing. And possibly, and maybe even think about on San Andreas, maybe even having a little bit of an online. Who knows? But that would be absolutely amazing. And that trilogy would once again sell a lot. You know what I mean? So that would be absolutely great. I would love to hear some GTA news coming to the Switch. That would be absolutely great. Now let's talk about third-party games. With a few third-party games that were leaked, I would expect them to talk a little bit about that today. The show is going to be, they said, roughly around like 50 minutes or so. So I would expect them to go into some third-party games as well a little bit. Definitely expect to hear some of those, especially some of the ones that were leaked. I would definitely expect to see some of that. Now, the Nintendo Switch, obviously with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S or whatever, not really being available at all, and really hard to get your hands on, the Switch has been doing, and it's not just because of that, but the Switch has been doing absolutely amazing in sales, and it has been for a very long time, being the #1 seller for quite some time. I would expect, and I know with the direct today, I wouldn't maybe expect to hear anything about this, but don't be surprised if possibly they talk a little bit about a new Switch revision that we've all been hearing about. You know, the Switch Pro or the Super Switch, or you know, some names have been thrown out there. But how cool would it be to actually get a little bit of news about a possible, you know, updated, you know, new revision of the Switch? That would be pretty cool, and I would love to hear, you know, some news on that if we were to get some. All right, now obviously the next big game for Nintendo Switch is new Pokemon Snap, and that comes out on April 30th. So that's coming up pretty soon. About a month and a half from now, that game's going to be out. So, but you know, what's going to be up next? You know, after that, some really big news would be if they were to drop some news about Bayonetta 3. Don't know how many fans out there that watch this channel like that series. It's one that I do like. Not a huge on the series, but that would be big time news if we were to finally hear something about Bayonetta 3. You know, is it going to be coming this year? Is it soon to be released? I feel like this opportunity today would be big. If they were to drop some news on that, saying, hey, this is coming out very soon, and might also possibly be the next big game to be coming to the Switch. That would be some pretty big news, and I think a lot of people would be happy to hear about that, including myself. All right, now here's something that we probably won't hear. One that I think would be absolutely huge news, and big, and get a lot of people uproared and excited for, and that would be Metroid Prime Trilogy. Metroid Prime 4 is a game that we have been waiting for it seems like forever now. So for them to drop some news on that, I feel like that probably won't happen. But to drop Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch, getting us prepared, getting us ready for Metroid Prime 4, that would be some awesome, huge news. And also for people that aren't really into the series or haven't really played much of it, that would pull a lot of people in, getting them ready and finding out, okay, this is what this is all about, and getting everybody primed up for Metroid Prime 4. That would be some news that would go over greatly. And with Metroid's, this is also Metroid's anniversary year. But with another game that we're going to talk about here in a minute, being even a bigger anniversary, so they're probably not going to do too much with it. But having a Metroid Prime Trilogy news saying that, hey, we're going to be releasing that maybe summertime, midsummer, something in that area, that would be absolutely amazing news. And I would love to hear it. All right, now let's talk about Nintendo Online. Now this is something that they might touch base on. They may not. I feel like this is something they should touch base on. You know, a lot of the games that have been coming out, you know, if you're an old school fan, or even if you're not an old school fan, but a lot of the games, especially the recent ones that came out for the online, you know, for the NES and the Super Nintendo, even though I didn't mind those games, I know a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, you know, like what is going on here? What is up with this? You know, I love the service. I love those apps. There's a lot of great games on there, and they're keeping it, they keep pumping them out. But I feel like, and not like I said, not for myself, but I feel like a lot of people were feeling like it's a little dry. That they need some newer stuff coming out, something big to drop on it. And how amazing would it be if they were to drop a new app on there, a new gaming app? Possibly Game Boy is what I know a lot of people were thinking. I personally, I mean, I wouldn't mind the Game Boy, with Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, or whatever, games on there. I wouldn't mind that because there's a lot of great games, the Donkey Kongs, the Zeldas, of course, the Marios, and a lot of others as well, Metroids. So there's a lot of great games on those. Like I said, I personally I wouldn't mind it, but I don't care too much for it. On the other hand, I would love to see like a Nintendo 64 app possibly, or even a GameCube app on there with games, starting out heavy with a good 10, 15 games or something like that, and then having that included in with the NES and the Super Nintendo app, dropping games. How amazing would that be? Even if they were to, I don't think they wouldn't hit us that big right off the bat. But starting us off with even a Game Boy app and a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube or even both or all three. I don't think that's going to happen, but at least one of those apps or two of those apps could definitely be a possibility. And how amazing would that be if they were to drop that into today too? I don't know if they will, what I'm saying, but that would be absolutely huge news for me at least, and a lot of others too. So that would be great. All right, now obviously I save this for the last. If you watch the channel, then you already know how much of a diehard fan I am of the Zelda series. But this is the 35th anniversary this year for Zelda, and actually in just 4 days, on the 21st, is actually the day, the 35th anniversary. So that's coming up very soon. I'm very excited for that. And you gotta know that, and you gotta think, this year is going to be huge for Zelda. So I expect some news about, the Zelda anniversary and what to expect games wise this year for that. So I ended up putting a few games on here and a few little pictures to look at, but some games that I would love to see. And not only would I love to see, because I know we already had some remastered ones. The Twilight Princess, we already had that. High definition remastered. We've already had the Wind Waker. Those were both on the Wii U, and then of course the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Those have all been remastered. The high depth, and put on, the Wii U, and you could go in and on the 3DS and have those. And some people were kind of like maybe tired of those. I personally would love to see those brought over to the Switch, and obviously some other ones as well. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great. I'm a huge Zelda fan, favorite series of all time. But I wouldn't mind, if we could only got these ported over, that would be amazing. But I expect some, like maybe like a 3-game, how they did the Mario stuff. Even though Mario is technically their poster boy, I feel like Nintendo goes a little bit harder with Zelda. And that's just my opinion, but I really do feel that way. So I expect to see some big stuff for Zelda this year. I expect a trilogy of some sort. That would be amazing. But also I feel like, and I would love to see actual remakes, not just remastered or ported over, but I would love to see remakes of some of these Zelda games. I'm gonna start off with, Majora's Mask. I feel like that's a game that would be absolutely amazing if it was remade. Um, Zelda 2, which I know a lot of people hate on that one, not so much back in the days when that's all we had, but a Zelda 2 remake, same platform, 2D style, side scroller or whatever, but just a remake, that would be absolutely amazing and would blow a lot of people away if we had some news about that. And then, of course, my favorite game of all time, Ocarina of Time. And like I said, I know these were remastered not just a few years ago for the 3DS, but I would actually love to have a remake of that game. And what better, to do it, even if it was just ported over. I mean, this is the year 35th anniversary to do it. But I think that they're going to, talk a little bit about that, what we should expect to see, and then ending the show off with Breath of the Wild 2. And I know that's probably not going to be the name of the game, but, ending it with another huge trailer that we haven't seen one in a while. We had that one a while back, and we haven't had any news really from that. Maybe a little leaks and stuff, and people thinking stuff. But to actually have, an actual new trailer for that, setting us up, and possibly a time of when this game could be released in the actual name of it, and instead of us all calling it Breath of the Wild 2. That would be a absolutely amazing way to end the show, in my opinion. But anyways, that's going to be all for today, and I'm so excited to watch the direct in just a few hours. So if you're new, like I said earlier on, if you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Really helps out a lot, guys. And make sure to leave down in the comments down below, what's your opinion? What is your thoughts on what's going to be talked about today? What would you like to see? And can't wait to hear from you guys. I always message back. And you guys have a great one until the next time. So excited for today's direct. And you guys have a great day. Game on.